Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, all subscribers, viewers, and supporters of this channel. I'm grateful to be here before you. Now, we are going to do another evaluation criteria which we chose, and it is called clients. As one of the environmental aspects criteria in evaluation for this particular environmental aspect, which is smoke emission. How does it work? I will come back to that. Before we go on, I implore all my Muslim brothers and sisters, please do not watch this video if you're already in a mosque for the Friday praise khutbah and or attending any religious lessons anywhere in the world at any time, wherever you are. Thank you very much. I appreciate your cooperation and empathy on that. I wish you and all of our Muslim brothers and sisters Jannatun Na'im. Amin. Now, we are still in the middle of evaluating the significance of environmental impact from the various environmental aspects as identified for this particular activity, which is diesel transfer. And in this video, I'm showing you one of the evaluation criteria that we use, which is client. How does it work? Well, remember, context of the organization, interested parties. Does it ring some? And also compliance obligation. Okay, so here we go. We will do this shortly, but before that, let us recap. Well, I do it almost every video now, the definition of environmental management system, while displaying you the summarized, compressed chronology of the implementation of ISO 14001. Forgive me for being so redundant, but it is important, okay? Especially for some of you who have just joined us in this video and have not watched the previous ones. Now, environmental management system is about managing environmental aspects. How is it done? How is that done? By fulfilling compliance obligation and also addressing risk and opportunities for that particular aspect from that particular unit process or unit activity. So what are environmental aspects? They are elements of our organization's activities, products, and services that interact or can interact with the environment. And that interaction, as you know, would eventually amount to some form of environmental impact, such as soil contamination, air pollution, resource depletion, geological damage, or marine water pollution, groundwater pollution, etc., etc., etc. I hope that is very much clear. Now let me show you where we are at the moment. We are here in this chronology. We are doing evaluation of these environmental aspects of ours, of this particular activity, because we have done this. Remember, identification of environmental aspects. If you look at the video thumbnail, input, output. Why? Because in the implementation of ISO 14001, if you're new in this channel, we have to identify all environmental aspects by doing this initial environmental review. Once that is done, we have an array of environmental aspects, and once that is done, we have got to evaluate to determine which environmental aspects from that group or list of environmental aspects are significant. Why? Because our company, our organization needs to understand what is their current environmental management position, what are they dealing with? What sort of environmental aspects? What nature? What type? Okay, and with that knowledge, they are able to understand what they need, or they can anticipate pretty well, not just roughly. They could anticipate what they need to do, what they must do, what they should do. Therefore, only once they have understood, not just identified, understood all the environmental aspects that they have in the list, then they can promulgate their so-called environmental policy. Not before that. Okay, and then revert back to the so-called list of environmental aspects, most popularly known as aspects impact register, or I love to call it dashboard, EMS dashboard. So what we do with that, refer back to that list and start to lay down our environmental objectives. Top management, stakeholders, key players in the company, head of departments, managers, all right, key personnel. You got to sit down, discuss, and brainstorm what should be your environmental objectives. Okay, not just for certification, but for environmental due diligence that would bring benefit to your company, to your organization. And then we start to plan what to do. So in order to plan what to achieve is to have specific environmental targets and specific environmental management program. These are cumulatively known as your intended outcome as per defined by ISO 14001 version 2015, which stipulate that our intended outcome, which could be targets, which could be environmental management program, and our long-term objectives, should include enhancement of our environmental performance. We need to show our commitment to betterment in the management of our environmental aspects continuously. Think about it. And also fulfillment. It has got to be reflected in objectives, targets, and EMP that we are committed. There is evidence to prove that we are committed to fulfill compliance obligation. And also evidence that we are really looking towards achieving our environmental objectives, not just paper. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now, let us also look into how we have identified our environmental aspects in this case for the activity diesel transfer, whereby this company has engaged an outsourced contractor who supplied diesel fuel. They got to travel from their respective depot, travel a few kilometers, could be 50 to about 100 kilometers away, to this particular premise where this factory is located, and to transfer the bulk of diesel fuel from the lorry to this particular factory's diesel storage tank in the premise itself. And how we have done the identification of environmental aspects is displayed in this video. Please feel free to take a look. Okay, and We need to know in this new standard version 2015 life cycle perspective of our environmental aspects and how to look at it from the life cycle perspective. I have given several videos on LCP, and for diesel is over here. Please take a look. All these videos are published. By the time you see this video, it is already up there. Now we are choosing smoke emission because we have done diesel, we have done spill kit, sorry, dirty spill kit over here. This is an output aspect, this is an input, and smoke emission is another output aspect. Why output input? Please refer to those early videos and let us take a look how this smoke emission environmental aspect is being evaluated. First of all, we tabulate them in what is called our dashboard or the aspects impact register table, and we have listed down there. We have done diesel, as you could see. Even the environmental performance evaluation is already up. There you are, 1.73, which is I wouldn't say, well, it's a corporate term. I use the word fair, actually it's poor. And also dirty spill kit, 4.9, and the scoring is so far, by far is the highest. And I'm excited to see how smoke emission is, and you can take a look. It doesn't deviate from its position in reality. All right, so this is going to be the evaluation criteria. Now, for smoke emission coming out of the exhaust of this particular lorry, there is no specific directive from the client stating that our company, when we engage an outsourced contractor, that they have got to comply to a certain level of smoke emission all the way. It's not stated that way. However, if we look into the purchase order terms and agreements or terms and conditions, or perhaps the agreement when a client decided to purchase our products, we and then tie up our contractor supplier using similar terms and conditions. What is popular is the fact that in most statement it would state we need to comply to local regulatory bodies. We need to comply to local law. We need to comply to all local laws, including environmental laws, while carrying out the work, while processing products, etc. These are normally common as a form of indemnity, especially for clients, for our clients. They got to make sure that what we process and what has been supplied to them are being manufactured in most legible form and not contravening any local laws or regulation. In other words, they want to make sure that we have processed and produced products that is being sold to them in a legal manner. So that's the most that our client ties up. In this case, let's assume that we are the factory here. We sell products to the client, and in turn we would engage and tie up our contractors, suppliers, including this diesel fuel supplier, to comply to local law. We don't tell them that their smoke emission from the diesel lorry must not be more than Ringelmann chart number 1, or not more than certain percentage of opacity. We don't go into that technical detail normally. Otherwise, it's going to be very lengthy when we have got to address all the law. So in short, what we do is, while In other words, yeah, while you are transporting that diesel fuel from your depot to my factory and exercising the transfer of those diesel into our factory's diesel tank, all legal matters or all law or legislations or regulations has got to be complied with. That's the best normally we do. Or please execute all this work in conformance to all local laws. That's the best we do. So it's not really specific. That is why over here there's no strict, okay, no strict terms and condition from client doesn't stipulate about smoke emission. Also the number 2 is not there, so nonetheless I cannot use zero because of these indemnity clauses, because of these sort of general or generic terms and conditions whereby there is a responsibility imparted on us to comply to all this particular law. It is being imposed to us by our clients to comply to the law. So based on that minimum, to say the least, minimum indemnity, I have got to rate still 1. It won't be 0. Okay, there is responsibility regardless whether it's stipulated or not stipulated in our agreements. There is always our responsibility to be legally conforming citizens, including businesses. So how does it fare from here? Apparently it is scoring 1, there you are, for clients, and that's the rating score for smoke emission under the evaluation criteria client. So that's about it. That is how it works. I believe you are able to pause and return back to the earlier part where we have got the definition for this particular criteria, and you can modify it to suit your local conventions. Okay, now that's about it. So we're going to look into something more interesting. I believe the frequency of the smoke emission, how would that be rated? All right, so that's about it for this video. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, subscribers, viewers of this channel. I appreciate your presence, and until we meet in the next video, please stay safe and please be healthy and get to work. And until then, I wish everybody Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.